Hello everyone. Hi, I am Hardik. So I would like to begin with polity. Actually, I would be teaching polity, economics, and mathematics, but my primary objective is for teaching polity in depth and mathematics. Economy, sometimes I'll upload the lectures on YouTube. And so let's just begin with this is a trial class. I would be uploading this lecture on YouTube so that I am new to this YouTube. So forgive me for not if I will not be able to explain. Currently, let's just start with preamble itself, not the articles, because understanding preamble is also very important in polity. This is the foundation of Indian polity. We will also do all kinds of political philosophies, types of government, etc., etc. But let's begin with preamble. So for preamble, let's see Constitution of India. I have to download it. Meanwhile, I will tell you that everything I upload on this YouTube channel, I would be constantly or timely watching the comment section. So if you guys have some kind of problem or any kind of suggestions or even like complaints ki that this certain points has not been explained well, so feel free to comment and let me know, because I am also learning and my motive here is to grow. And I am also a CSE aspirant, and I have decided to come on YouTube so that I can guide newer aspirants, or basically the NDA, CDS and CAPF aspirants for maths, polity and economy. I have certain experience in guiding students for these subjects, but this is the first time I am coming on YouTube. So let's see where to get the preamble. Constitution of India, India Code. Okay, here we have. I believe this is the foundation. Everybody has to at least read this once a while, even if you are not an aspirant for any exam. You should know what constitution is, what constitutionalism is, and how our constitution has evolved, how the constituent assembly was formed, how the debates happened, and all this. There are certain things many political thinkers like term our constitution as a borrowed constitution, or a constitution which has many of its features from outside constitutions of around the world, many democratic and republican countries. But this is not the right term. I would like to add the term inspiration would be better term, because we have not copied everything from other constitutions, but we have taken inspiration. And there's a slight different, because in India, whatever we have adopted with a pinch of salt, because India is a very big country, and we cannot just copy paste different things from different constitution around the world and expect it to run smooth. So our founding constituent assembly members were very highly intellectual people, and so whatever they have borrowed from other constitution, we will get to know all this, like from Irish constitutions, Canadian constitution, constitution of USA, like Bill of Rights, etc., and UK's parliamentary system. We will get to know everything. This is just an introductory class, so I am telling some things, like, because I do not have a script right now. So let's just start with Constitution of India. Here is the preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens certain things. We have guaranteed this. Later on, we will also discuss whether preamble is a part of constitution or not. But let's just start with very basic. We the people of India. Like, what does this means? This means we the people of India are the power behind the constitution. Is this correct? In certain texts, it is written that the rights of people depends on the constitution, and in UK, which is different from our constitution, the constitution result is a result of the rights of people. But in India, the rights of people has been a result of the constitution of India. But that is totally different from this thing. The constitution derives its authority from we the people of India. Every citizen of India combined has taken an oath. How this is correct? Because when the Constituent Assembly was formed, few were nominated members, but mostly the people were elected. Maybe the election were indirect, but they represented India at that time. So we can say this is correct because the people who were sitting in that legislative, or sorry for that, Constituent Assembly or Council, so they were very much having the authority to say this thing, we the people of India, because they represented the people of India. So whenever this question arises, that what is the source of power for Constitution of India, you can clearly say this as its citizens. Okay, having solemnly resolved. Okay, this editor is not working right now. Let's see, maybe it will work. Okay, it will work. This is an important word. Why there is a solemn resolve? Solemn means committed, a legally committed resolve. Like, it is not just we have decided, we have committed to this cause. So this shows the intensity of that resolve to constitute India into a, here we are describing the newly formed nation India, that will always be this, a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. There are certain words which have been added by the later amendments. That's why also one thing, like whenever you see this kind of numbers like this one, or maybe if there isn't it, see, whenever in Constitution of India real, like original PDF or original copy, whenever you get it, you will see certain kinds of numbers like this 1 2 3, and when you will go to that, okay, whenever you will reach the footnotes, this is known as footnotes, you will find what does this means. Subs means substituted by the Constitution 42nd Amendment of 1976, okay, for sovereign democratic republic. So this means that part was replacing this part. Earlier there were only three words, sovereign democratic republic, but, and this means with effect from. I am telling everything how to read the constitution. This is a basics class. I will try to do this class again, but this class is just an introduction. So uh, forgive me for being slow. But if you see this class, you will realize how to read the constitution. What does these terms, these IBID, etc., subs mean, and also what these numbers mean. With effect from means this was enacted in this year 1976, but it is always done in this like parliament system. It is always done. We pass the bill on certain date, but we mention on that this will come on with effect from certain date. So this is the date, from this date this will be amended and read as this. And I would like to let you know that these two words, socialist and secular, do not add any extra meaning to this preamble already, because we were already this system. Socialist and secular is a word which has been added by the then government to, these are just qualifying in nature. They are not adding certain new things. Let me explain how. See, socialist, what is a socialist country? Socialism has different meanings. There are many forms like communism, state socialism, Marxism, etc., etc. But and inherently, socialism means a government which works for the people. Or allow me to explain more. Like it is a government which eventually believes in distributing resources to the people, or the people who are not very much well to do in society. Everything they aim for equality. And if you look at the below lines, justice, social, economic, and political, these also denote a kind of socialism. Secular, secular means there. Let me explain this also. In the Western concepts, secular is a very different concept. In our concept, secularism is a very different concept. This word has its origin from like maybe 14th 15th century, when the politics in Europe was very much driven by the religious forces of that time in Europe. So what the king did, or what they had to do, is develop a system where the religious authority and the political authority will never intervene between each other. They will have their different like set of rules. They will not come and interfere in their matter. They will not come and go and interfere in their matter. This term secularism denotes a divorce, a difference between the political and religious authority. But in India, secularism has a different meaning. Here we do not say that state, the state, I will explain the word or this term state in article 12. The state will not interfere in religious matter. No, we will do positive interference. How? Because the state can interfere to make everything equal for everyone. Maybe I'm not able to explain everything at once, but overall I will develop and tell in a better way. I can understand like I'm not giving the exact meaning, but I will let you know slowly and clearly. Here secularism means state will not force you any religion. You are free to do whatever you want. But if you do certain negative things, the state has the power and shall exercise its power to curb you, or like to stop you from doing any harm to the society. Also, if the state like wants to spend some kind of money on particular religion, they cannot do by means of excluding other religions. This means is, if I am the state, I decide to promote X religion, I also have to like very, very sorry for this is not promotion. Like if I try to help X religion in certain aspects like education, or giving them grants, or giving them for money for pilgrimage, etc., I will not differentiate between the religions. If I give one, I will have to give the second, third, and so on. There are an n number of religions in India, so I cannot differentiate between anyone. My target, or the state, is bound to act freely or like impartially for everybody. So our secularism and the secularism which has its meaning and origin from Europe is very different. There, this is a complete partition between the political authority and the religious authority. But here, it is not that partition, but it is giving a positive sense. Like it is in a positive. Like I will also explain you positive and negative, right? Because this is an explainer class, I will try to let the concepts known to you. Like you will get some questions in different exam. This is a positive right or a negative right. A negative right controls the state or stops the state from doing certain things. But a positive right bounds the state to perform certain acts. How? Let me explain. See, if I say right to education, it is a positive right or negative right? It is a positive right. Everybody can answer that, because right to education and like bounds the state to give education to a certain age of students. The state has to perform its duty. It is obliged to do its duty. Okay. And negative right to equality. Right to equality is a negative right in that sense that the state cannot differentiate between people. This right is stopping the state from doing certain things. Like, the state cannot do this. It is not enforcing the states to do some certain things. It is stopping the state from doing anything. Later on, when we will study the different articles, you will get to know it more clearly, and eventually I would be able to convey it more easily and like in a better sense. So forgive me for not being able to say certain clear words, because I am also learning. Sovereign. See, let's start from sovereign. What is a sovereign? Sovereign means one which is free from any kind of fetters. There are no chains on its power. There is no one above that thing, that authority, and it can do as it wants. This is a very big concept. Let's see step by step. A sovereign is an authority that do not depends on its power on any other authority. Nobody, no other authority can declare certain guidelines, not even guidelines, or pressurize that authority to do certain things. Is India sovereign? Of course. We will later discuss how certain treaties and things limit our sovereignty, but we are sovereign. Are we sovereign? As a citizen of India, are we sovereign? Think it, because I right now there is nobody in the class, so I cannot ask anybody, but I'm asking you. Think about this. Is India sovereign? Yes. But are we, as a citizen of India, me and you, everybody who is a citizen of India, are we sovereign? Are we free to do everything? Some people might say that yes, we are free to do everything. Constitution gives us right, and we are not bound by anything. But sovereign can only happen. Sovereign that can only be taken by you when you are absolutely free. And freedom is a mythical concept. It has certain vagueness in it. Nobody is entirely free. Not even like President of USA, not even our Prime Minister is free. Everybody is bound by the law. We, the people of India, are bound by the law. Let's see, for basic things, you have to take permission of the state. Can we start this business? Can we do this thing? There are certain restrictions. You might think that Constitution of India has given us a lot of fundamental rights, which everybody thinks that it is our right and we can do anything. But when you will read these things, you will realize every right has its clause in which it clearly states that there are certain limits to this right. You cannot exercise the right fully, because if you are enjoying your right, you might hurt somebody else's right. This is a very popular concept. Every right comes with an obligation, and we will come to this topic later. Sovereign means any authority which is free from any external influence. Like India, we can do anything, we can acquire any land, we can give any land, we can do as we like in our country, our economy, everything. Later we will discuss how IMF, World Bank, and treaties, like obligations from like BRICS, etc., etc., whatever the India is part of, put certain kind of obligation which India has to follow. But these like partially take away a bit of sovereignty, but still we will call India as a sovereign. This erodes sovereignty, but if as a whole you will be asked, India is sovereign. Okay. Socialist I have explained, secular I have explained, democratic. Okay, democratic. See, there is a word called Kratia, Kratia, aristocratic, plutocratic, democratic. If you can think of more words, Think of your by yourself. I remember on only these words. There might be a lot. Bureaucratic. So Krasia means rules. ठीक है? Rule. RULE. In Hindi we call this as Raj. Demo means people. See, rule of people. Whose rule? Democracia. This is a Latin word, if I am remembering it correct. Democracia, bureaucracia, or aristocracia. Aristocracy means rule by the learned few or the elites. See, bureaucracy means, bureau means, the term bureau means office or table. Here in India, we kind of associate bureaucracy with, like in Hindi it is, the term is given as Naukarsha, but actually the real term should be rule of table or rule of office. A bureaucrat is not actually this term which I gave in Hindi, but bureaucracy means by the rule by a selected few who are selected on merit, and they rose to higher powers, and they decide the, like how the economy will function. In certain countries bureaucracy is very powerful. We will discuss all that later. And in India also bureaucracy has its reach in many aspects, like economic policy and all. Whatever you see on television and like the this parliament system and all, everything behind the scenes also there are very many, like lots of bureaucrats who decide on the minute details of policy making. Like the framework has been decided by our leaders, but when it comes to like minute details, who all are deciding? Bureaucrats are deciding. Like when national green tribunal, etc., etc., certain rules are given to the people or the companies, you have to be this green. Who all is actually deciding this? This is bureaucracy. Bureaucracy rules from the behind. They are also known as shadow actors, or I think shadow power, maybe if I'm remembering it correct. They do not come to front. Their task is to deliver. I've recently read a book from Mr. He's a former coal secretary. I think Mr. Anil Swaroop. He's a very acclaimed retired bureaucrat. He was in the Indian Administrative Service. He wrote in his book about delivery. As bureaucrats, like many of you will be thinking to join the service, different types of services are there. But as a bureaucrat, your responsibility is to create an impact and to deliver. What is democratic? Democratic means wherever the government, see, there are very two different words. I'll explain the meaning. Democratic means the government is elected by the people. There can be democracy, and in that democracy, there can be a king also. These two are totally different concepts. Many people think that dictatorship is the opposite, or actually, I should use the word monarchy. Monarchy is the opposite of democracy, but it's not true. See the case of UK. Monarchy means head of the state would be from a royal family, like in UK. The king, like earlier it was the queen, I think it's now the king. So their children will be ruling forever, hereditary rule. But there the government is elected by the people. So how it can happen? Because these two are not opposite in meaning. Democracy is not opposite to monarchy. Monarchy is opposite to republic. How? Because in republic, the head of state will be an elected person, like in India. We are both a democratic nation and a republic nation. How? Because in India, head of the state, who is the head of the state? You all are very smart. Everybody would know this. When I was starting the preparation, I have to read everything and come to a conclusion. So I am trying to give everything as in depth as possible, because that will help certain guys who will watch this YouTube channel. This will eventually reach to certain people who will need it. Okay? Republic, the state head would be a elected person. How? We do not elect our president directly, but yet the guys who are, or we should say the representatives of people who are responsible for us, to represent us in the legislative assemblies of state and the parliament. So those people are representative, select, or actually by means of proportional representation system, single transferable vote, elect the president. So indirectly we are the ones who is giving power to those people to elect the president. So here the president or the head of the state in India is a elected person. He is not from a royal family, or from a hereditary family. So India is a republic in the sense that here the head of the state is elected. UK is not a republic, it is a democratic country, but it is a monarchy, because there the government is elected by the people, but the state head remains from the same family. Nobody can change it. Maybe a revolution can change it, but revolutions are now not happening anywhere in the world. Revolutions are a thing of the past, and when we will study political history and some political science concepts, we will know about what revolutions are, and how revolutions have taken place, like the French Revolution, Russian Revolution, and also later I would let you know these words, they have been taken from certain revolutions only. So it's a good thing I remember all these things. I will let you know. I'll stop this class. The next video will continue from here. You can watch the next video on YouTube. I'm stopping this class right now so that I can edit this much better way. Just go to the next video if it is available right now in the YouTube. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. You will get more better and better quality content on this YouTube channel. So stick here. And if you like the content, just give a thumbs up. If you do not like, that is more important. If you do not like, let me know in the comments. If you have a 10-second time, just type ki if I was able to explain you, or on what things I can work on. It would be very kind of you if you just give me a suggestion feedback. You can write anything. You can also write you are a very bad teacher. Thank you so much.